Entitled Mom demands my service dog be removed from my workplace because her son is allergic, then tries to get me fired. I never thought I'd be the villain in someone else's made-up story, but here we are. For some context, I, 26 female, work at a fairly large public library in a mid-sized city. It's usually a quiet and safe place, perfect for someone like me, who needs a calm environment due to a medical condition. I have a service dog, Bentley, a golden retriever who is trained to assist with my neurological disorder. I won't go too far into medical specifics, but I have a condition that causes random drop attacks. Basically, I can collapse without warning. Bentley can sense these episodes before they happen and alert me in time to get to a safe place. He's been a literal lifesaver. He wears a clear bright red service vest, never barks, doesn't wander, and is basically the canine version of a well-trained Navy SEAL. I've had zero issues with him, until she showed up. It was a Saturday morning, one of our busiest days. I was running our free teen coding club, a program we host every weekend to teach kids basic HTML and Python. We had around 10 students signed up that day. About 10 minutes before class started, a woman in her late 30s or early 40s walked in with a boy around 13. She looked stressed and impatient. Let's call her M, entitled Mom, and her son Allergy Kid, AC. M walked straight up to the front desk where I was checking registrations. M. Hi, my son is here for the computer class. Me. Great, what's his name? She told me. I checked him in, and welcomed them. That should have been it, but then AK's eyes zeroed in on Bentley, who was lying quietly behind the desk. Bentley had his vest on and wasn't even moving, just watching the room. He looked more bored than anything. AK pointed and whispered something to his mom. M frowned and leaned over the desk. M. Is that dog going to be in the room the whole time? Me. Yes, he's my service dog. He stays with me during my shift. She immediately stiffened. M. My son is allergic to dogs. I nodded and said, I understand. Bentley is a hypoallergenic breed, and I can keep him at a distance during the class. He won't come into contact with your son. She didn't like that answer. M. That's not acceptable. You need to remove the dog. He's a medical hazard. I calmly explained that Bentley was a fully trained service animal, not a pet, and under the ADA, service animals are legally allowed in public spaces, even ones with kids. I reassured her again that he would be kept at a distance, and that we sanitize everything regularly. She scoffed. M. So you're telling me this dog's right to be here matters more than my son's health? Me. No, I'm saying that both of your rights matter, and I'm doing everything I can to accommodate both. Then came the classic line. M. Well, can't you just leave him outside while you're working? Like he was a bicycle or a backpack. Me. I can't. He's a medical necessity. He alerts me to oncoming episodes that can be dangerous if I don't get seated in time. That's when she changed tactics. M. Then someone else should run the class. Someone without a dog. I told her kindly that I was the only staff member trained to lead the program, and removing me from the class wasn't an option. At this point, other parents were arriving, and the mood was getting tense. I offered to seat AK on the opposite side of the room and provide disinfectant wipes in case he wanted to clean his area. It was the best I could do. She didn't take it well. She folded her arms and said in a loud voice, M. This is discrimination. You're prioritizing your dog over a child's life. What kind of library is this? Her son looked mortified. He was tugging on her sleeve and muttering, Mom, it's fine, I'll sit far away, I have my inhaler, but she wasn't having it. By now, my supervisor had walked over. She's an older woman who doesn't play games. Let's call her Susan. Susan. Ma'am, the library's policy follows federal law. The service dog is permitted, and we're happy to seat your son somewhere safe, but we cannot ask an employee to remove a medical device. M. A medical device? It's a dog. Susan didn't blink. Susan. A trained service animal is classified as a medical device under federal law. If you choose not to stay, that's your right. M glared at both of us, dramatically grabbed her son's arm, and stormed out shouting, M, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. We thought it was over. It wasn't. 3 days later, we received a formal complaint through the city. M had filed a report accusing me of reckless endangerment and creating a hazardous environment for minors. She claimed I had refused to remove a dog despite knowing the child was severely allergic, and called it negligent and discriminatory. I was honestly shocked. I thought this was just another Karen tantrum, but this woman wanted my job. The city investigated it, of course. I provided documentation, including Bentley's certifications, my medical paperwork, the ADA guidelines, and even a statement from my doctor. Susan backed me up 100%, and so did our regional manager. They shut her complaint down fast. But guess what? She wasn't done. 2 weeks later, she came back. Not for the class. Not to apologize. No. She came back with her son again, stood at the front entrance, took photos of me and Bentley at the desk like we were zoo animals, and then walked out. Her poor kid looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. I overheard him say, "Please stop, it's embarrassing," and she just said, "No one gets away with treating us like that." After that, we filed a no harassment notice with city officials. If she ever makes a direct threat or continues showing up to provoke staff, she can be formally banned from all city libraries. To this day, she's never returned. But the best part? One of the other parents in that same coding class happened to work as a paralegal. She sent me an email later saying, "You handled that incredibly well. If she ever bothers you again, let me know, I'd love to return the favor legally." So yeah, Bentley is still here, still quiet, still saving my butt when needed. And entitled mom can scream into the void as much as she wants, he's not going anywhere. A mom tried to force me to babysit her kids during my wedding, then called me heartless. Weddings are supposed to be one of the happiest days of your life, right? You spend months planning every detail, from the flowers to the cake to the seating chart. You try to make sure everyone is comfortable, everything is beautiful, and the whole day reflects the love you and your partner share. Well, apparently I forgot to account for one very specific disaster, an entitled mother who thought my wedding was the perfect opportunity to dump her kids on me, while I was the bride. Yes, this happened. So I, 27F, married the love of my life, Jake, 29M, earlier this year. We decided to have a fairly intimate ceremony, just 60 guests, including close family and a few longtime friends. We rented out a cozy venue with a garden for the ceremony and a small reception hall attached. We made it very clear on the invites that it would be an adults-only event, and that no children were allowed unless specifically invited. Why? Because we wanted the day to be calm, romantic, and simple. No screaming, no running toddlers, no last-minute diaper explosions during our vows. We weren't trying to be rude, we just knew what kind of vibe we wanted, and we communicated that openly. Most people respected it, except one. We'll call her Tina, because of course her name is Tina. Tina is the cousin of my sister-in-law. I had only met her once, briefly, at a family barbecue, where she spent the entire time loudly complaining that no one respects single moms anymore, while her 3 kids ran wild, broke a birdbath, and tried to put ketchup on the dog. So no, we didn't exactly have her on the main guest list. But, family politics. My sister-in-law begged us to include Tina, saying she would feel left out, and it would be nice to make her feel included. Jake and I agreed, on the condition that she did not bring her children. The invite said it in bold, "Adults-only wedding, no children, please." Fast forward to the day of the wedding. Everything is beautiful. The weather is perfect. I'm in my dress, nervous but excited. I'm surrounded by my closest friends, makeup done, hair curled, just waiting for the ceremony to begin. Then my maid of honor walks in with that look on her face. You know the one. The, "I don't know how to tell you this, but we have a problem," face. She says, "Tina's here. With all 3 of her kids." I thought she was joking. I laughed. She wasn't joking. I peeked out of the dressing room window and there she was. Tina in a bright neon pink sundress, totally clashing with the pastel theme, holding a screaming toddler on one hip while her 2 older kids, around 6 and 8, chased each other with plastic swords, in the garden where we were about to have our ceremony. I sent Jake a frantic text. He said he'd handle it. So he goes out to talk to her. He tells her politely but firmly, "Tina, we love having you here, but we made it really clear this is an adults-only wedding. You can't have your kids here." Her response? "Well, I didn't have a sitter. And I wasn't going to miss this just because of some rule. Your family now, you should understand." Jake explained again that this wasn't up for discussion. Either she had someone come get the kids, or she'd have to leave. She got angry. Loudly angry. "So what, you're just gonna kick out a single mom because you're too uptight to let a couple kids sit quietly?" Her kids were not sitting quietly. One was now pulling flowers out of the centerpieces. Jake tried to stay calm. "I'm sorry, Tina, but we were really clear. The ceremony is starting soon. This isn't the time or place for this." Then she turned to me. She stormed into the dressing room with her kids trailing behind her. I'm standing there in my gown, veil on, about to walk down the aisle, and she goes, "Can't they just hang out in here with you for a little while? You're not doing anything yet." I was speechless. "Tina," I said slowly, trying not to cry or scream, "this is my wedding day. This is not a daycare." She scoffed. "You brides always make everything about yourselves. My kids are bored, and I'm not dragging them home for your selfish rules." My maid of honor literally had to escort her out of the dressing room. Tina called me a heartless B*** as she left. Out loud, in front of other guests. Eventually, Jake's uncle agreed to drive the kids back to Tina's house while she stayed, begrudgingly. She sulked through the ceremony, rolled her eyes during our vows, and left right after dinner. A few days later, she posted a rant on Facebook about how weddings are fake, and how certain people think their parties are more important than motherhood. My name wasn't tagged, but everyone knew who it was about. I haven't spoken to her since. Neither has my sister-in-law. If you think the story ends there, just wait. 6 weeks later, Tina sent me a text. "Tina. Hey, my cousin said you're going to Italy for your honeymoon. Any chance I could come? I could use a vacation and you probably won't even notice me." That text still lives rent-free in my brain. No, Tina, you can't come to Italy. And you sure as hell can't bring your kids.